wakened up and I was listening to Andrew Tate and Denzel Washington, and I love listening to these two people because they're always speaking the truth the best. And Denzel, it's actually weird. I woke up this morning and my phone was in my pocket and it just turned on at 5:30 in the morning, and it was Denzel speaking the truth to me about God and how when you're going through trials and tribulation that he's there with you, and when you're going through a struggle, that's typically a sign that you're about to have a breakthrough. And then Andrew Tate is talking about strength and becoming the best version of you. It's all true. It's all 100% true. You get attacked before your glory. So you're tested. And Tate was talking about how Jordan Peterson, which I love, I love Peterson, but there were some weaknesses I seen in him, which we all have, but it's good to see. By seeing where they are, then you don't adapt to those, but you take all the kids. So Jordan was obviously a little weaker, cried a lot, emotional, which is okay. To each their own, but as a man, I feel like you should have complete control on your emotions, and that's where I agree with Jordan Peterson, was given a platform. So was I. I was tested when my ex kicked me out of the house, and instead of staying focused, staying on the mission, I chose the wrong battle to fight. And with Jordan Peterson, his wife got cancer, and he ended up taking pills to deal with it and got addicted. And now I don't hear him too much speaking anymore. So every man will be tested, but the man gets to decide when he quits. So keep moving forward. And you keep pushing to new levels. You don't stop. I felt the urge to quit. I never understood what that saying was. Every winner has felt the urge to quit. I never understood, because I would never, that I can remember. I'm sure there's been times where I felt the urge forget about it after a while. That's what Denzel was talking about, which I 100% agree. There's been so many miracles that you made it through to get to where you are, each and every single person. But you forget about those because you have this perception of what reality, what your envision of your success should be. And if it's not that, you think God isn't with you. But when you reflect and realize that it's through all the trials and tribulations that you got through, the miracles were given to you. And if you remember those, you will, and you remember those and you rejoice in those during the hard times, during the storms, more will come to you. And I know this, and I truly believe this, and it's all about mind control. It's about controlling your own mind and leveling up yourself as well as everybody that's around you. And you're going to be attacked. You're going to be backstabbed. Now, if you've never felt any of this, then you probably haven't been leveling up. But if you're leveling up, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about leveling up to where maybe you're making $50,000 a year and everybody around you making $50,000, and you end up making $500,000 a year. Well, on that journey, if you do that, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And then from 50 to $1 million a year, there's new. I heard this quote from, what's his name? Anyways, it was not T.D. Jakes, but Les Brown. And he says that new levels bring new devils, and he's 100% right. And I don't like to speak negative things, but it's sometimes you just gotta put it out there. It is true. And understanding why people attack you and all these things helps you move through it quicker. But if you get stuck in your pride and you try, there's this quote I like to reminisce on: don't wrestle with a pig, you'll get muddy and they like it. And I've wrestled with a couple pigs, and now as soon as a pig wants to wrestle, I get out, because unfortunately, on my mission and trying to help people and serve people, a lot of people don't want help. They think they do, but they really just enjoy talking about their misery instead of growing through it. So control what you can control, improve yourself 24/7. And it'll be a lonely road because eagles don't always fly. Well, they don't fly in flocks too often. So if you're open to getting some coaching and you want to level up your life, if you've been following me, if you haven't been following me, I've sold 2,000 homes, real estate, investing, made a couple $1 million mistakes already, and I'm very open about everything because I will continuously grow, and I want to show people. I want to build up a following of people that are like-minded, that are going to grow, want to help each other, take chances, take risks, and make moves and grow together. So if that's you and you would like a coach, somebody that has made over $600,000-$700,000 a year, someone that's gone through divorce, somebody that morals is everything, growing, getting better, reading the Bible, but questioning everything and thinking for yourself. If that sounds like you and you would like, you've been looking for somebody that you can level up with, message me. Message me, coach, and I'll reach out to you. So I teach real estate, but I really teach mindset. That is the biggest thing. I can take anybody that is committed to their success and willing to do anything it takes to get to where they want to get. I can get you there. So if you're making $50,000 or $100,000 a year, you want to make $200,000 or $300,000, I guarantee you I can get you there. So it's quite easy. It's quite easy when you look back and reflect on it. It's like, wow, that was if I would have could have did it a lot faster if I had a coach like myself. But I've had coaches. Yeah, I've even had coaches stab me, multiple of them. So it is imperative to get somebody that's truly wanting to see you succeed, because they get gratification from that. And I truly think that's why I've been put here on earth. My morals are to do the best, be the best version of myself every day. And I would like to find some people to take them on that road and make it quicker. And I've done it a bunch of times, and I've learned and I've grown, and I know how to do it better. I see what to look for. And here's the thing, I do charge $10,000 to $30,000 to coach people. It all depends on where you are, what you're looking to do, but I've also done it for free, way more than I've charged for it. The reason I charge for it is because finding people that are committed, you're either going to commit your time, which isn't very valuable at the time, unless you have $10,000 to $30,000 to invest in yourself. Because if you don't have that money to invest in yourself, you're probably trading your time for dollars. Therefore, there's going to be a lot more of me investing my $1,000 an hour of my value into leveling and pulling and constantly trying to get you to switch your mindset. So, mindset is key. With that being said, message me, coach, if you'd like me to reach out and we could have a conversation and find out if it would be a good fit, where you're looking to go, what's your aspirations, what's your goals. And I've trained, the first time I've ever coached anybody, because I was trained by the nationally #1 home builder on selling. I'm coachable because I was hungry and coachable, and those are the only two things you need. I had speech problems, confidence issues, everything, but I was focused on getting money, because if I could get money, numbers don't lie. So money buys comfort. It really does buy comfort. Money buys comfort. Feels better to have 10 grand in your pocket at all times, cash, rather than walk around with no money. feel better. There are ways to feel great like a billionaire. Being broke and owing $1 million, you can still feel like a billionaire, 100%. But it's easier to feel like a billionaire when you got $10,000 in your pocket and you can go do whatever you want with that money at any time. So the number one resource you have is you. So invest in you, your speaking, your follow through, your discipline, your circle, which add me to your circle will instantly improve, I promise. Now, what I see is a lot of people, I tend to stay quiet when I'm out a lot because most people don't talk about business and development, and that's really all I talk about. That is my passion. So I've been going through trials for the last almost 5 years now, lots of them. ups, downs, and it's all growth. And one day, because let me get back to this. So I used to sell a lot of homes. I had 8 agents, brand new. I helped them get their license. They all made over $100,000 a year their first year in real estate, which is unheard of. But it was because I taught them how to sell and handed them leads. So I could take anybody, which I'm working with somebody right now as a 19-year-old kid, and I've done this before with a different 19-year-old kid, and helped them make $100,000 their first year in real estate. So I'm about to do that again. And so every situation is different. I learned to analyze the person, the situation, and bring the best value. And for me, it's all about efficiency. Taking somebody who's making, I could take anybody, but it depends. If you have experience on knocking on doors for a month versus someone that did it for 2 years, there's a lot more value in that person. I know that they're going to be more disciplined than the person did it for a month. So I got to find you where you are and get you to level up. And I've learned to push people enough not to break them. But if I break somebody quick, then that's okay. Next, because when you get broke, meaning that we give you an example. I was talking to one of my associates, introduced me to somebody, and I asked him like 3 quick questions. He got real butthurt, real upset. He was trying to build a clothing brand, wanted to raise some money, and I told him, "How's your credit? Why don't you get a business loan?" He was like, "Oh no, I don't want to do that." I said, "Well, if you're not willing to invest in your own business, if it's $1 billion," he says it's $1 billion brand, and he just needs some money. Well, get a business loan and go invest in yourself. He wasn't willing to do that. So why would I give you money if you're not willing to invest in yourself? And he got upset. Asked him how much money he's ever made, because I truly ask these hard questions and find out. If you ask somebody how much money he's ever made, I ask real estate agents all the time, how many homes have you sold? That's relevant. 1,000% you haven't sold very many. And I typically, every time I ask that to somebody, I already know the answer, but by what they say, I just ask them to see if so what I'm like, there's this quote, trust but verify. So I already know, but I try to verify it. And I have yet to feel that, like have an agent knowing that they don't really know what they're talking about, and then I ask them that question. I've yet to be wrong, and them say, "Oh, I've sold 500 homes." I've yet to be wrong. So the people that won't tell you are the most arrogant people. So if someone's going to not want to tell you how much the money they make because they're pride, which means they're broke as hell, because poor people are typically ego-driven, because rich people, wealthy people want to learn, want to grow, ask questions, look for somebody that's doing more than them and want to learn. Poor people don't. And I used to be like that. People would tell me how to do things, and I'd fight with them, and I'd be like, no, that's not for me. That's their ego. That's their pride. And eventually, I've had so much pressure, I had to do what they told me to do, like get an assistant. I look back, and my coach told me exactly what to do, and I didn't listen to him, and probably pissed him off because I didn't listen to him. But what he didn't realize is, and I know this because of what I've been through, I'm more understanding for people that don't listen, because I get that it isn't comfortable, and you got your pride and ego and all these things to get over. So those are the real dilemmas of people, is the ego and the pride. Because if you tear down the ego, if I told you do these 3 things and you're willing to do those 3 things, you will succeed. So before I coach somebody, I'll say, start taking, let's say they don't have money to put up, okay? Let's say they don't want to put up money. No skin in the game. So I'll still teach you, do these 3 things. Commit to taking cold showers or a cold plunge every day for a week. Go to the gym every day for a week. And only eat 1 to 2 meals in a 4 to 6 hour window every day for a week. Do those 3 things. If you do those 3 things, call me and I'll teach you to make $1 million. If they say, oh, I won't do it, cool. Peace. Love you, man. If you come back with money or come back with commitment and we'll get it started. So God bless you. If you haven't subscribed, hit the comment what state you're from. Would love to hear and what you do for work. See you on the next one.